Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's have a look at, I suppose, a bit of an overview of the market. You know, there's been a fair old dump, hasn't there? And I suppose it's raising a few eyebrows, and I don't blame you. So first of all, we're going to look at Bitcoin, but then we're going to look at Ethereum, which is going to correspond to hopefully the altcoin market as a whole. So we're going to look at the Bitcoin dominance chart. So we'll start with Bitcoin, all right? This is Bitcoin on the hourly. So this is the buy the rumor. Where basically Elon Musk, it was announced that basically he's gone to town with Bitcoin. So it wasn't even that long ago. We are only on a 4-hourly chart actually here. So we ended up going up into this ascending channel where we were thinking we'd probably break down from. We didn't break down from it. We broke out of it, and we've basically started to make moves towards the up, right? And again, this is just a 4-hourly chart. We're going to have to look at this one though, I suppose, to give us any idea of what's going to happen. So as you can see, this was the resistance line up here of the channel, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then break out, and then broke below, and then tested it again on this wick. So this dump down so far has tested the trend line pretty much to the T. So the area of concern is going to be this trend line to start with. The trend line being, well, at the bottom of that wick, so 53,500 thereabouts. If that ends up breaking down, then we'll cast our eyes over to the daily chart, and I would be looking to see this 10 exponential get tagged, which is around about 52. This is today anyway. It'll move every day, obviously. About 52,200. So not too much further to go, and then hopefully we'll catch a bounce from there. But if that does break down, then yeah, a significant over time, maybe a week or 2, 3. Would probably bring us down to wherever the 200, the 20 moving averages. The centre of the Bollinger Band is probably where we're going to be tagging next, and then we can talk about what's going to happen as a result of that. I would expect a massive bounce from there if we ever do come down to that level, similar to how we had a massive rally up here, came down, tagged it, bounced, tagged it, bounced, tagged it, bounced, tagged, and then it wore out, and then we basically broke down below it. So I'm not saying that this is in any way bearish what's happening right now. It seems a lot more than it is, but it's really not all that much. From today's candle to the bottom of that wick, 7%. So these things happen, and I think it must have been on my live stream I was talking about this. I was saying, look, on the weekly, you know, the weeklies don't like often spending a great deal of time opening and closing outside of the Bollinger Band. I mean, they have been doing that here on this parabolic run, and we're trying to do it again, but I think it's a little overextended. But to be honest, when you're looking at all these other indicators like the money flow index and all of those other things, not really seeing this as a problem. It's not this people talking about 2018. It's not that kind of vibe at all. It's just a significant, well, I suppose a pullback really, that could end up being a little further, a bit deeper. That's all I'm saying, just a little bit deeper. So if we focus on that trend line here to start with, if that breaks down, then we can talk about maybe another couple of $1,000s below that. And if that breaks down, then yeah, maybe we start a bearish move from that point forward, and we can think about maybe taking shorts and things like that. But for the moment, we have bounced from here. It's not a massive bounce. It is a bounce all the same. Let's just measure that wick from that bounce to the candle where we are at right now. It's only 2%, so it's not got a great deal of conviction in it right now. So I would hold off for the moment, right? Hold off for the moment of buying any of these dips just in case. Now the other thing I was going to say is, you know, back here we've got a conversion baseline cross, you know, above the clouds, you know, more or less Chiku span in the right place. So this would suggest a continuation of a trend from this point forward. So from around about 35,000. So that has, well, I mean, that's played out pretty well, hasn't it? So we measure it from here, 36,500, 50% move since that. That's with the pullback that we've got right now, so 50% move already from that signal, which was a decent signal. When we trade these signals, we trade them until we're told otherwise. We've not been told otherwise. The Chiku span is far away from price action, and it would take a significant dump over a long period of time to tell us that that this move has fizzled out. So on the daily, still things are looking quite good as far as this trend is concerned. It's the start of a new trend at a high level. and there's no exit point for us at the moment. It's not telling us to get out of the trade or anything like that. So I'm okay with it, and if it comes down, to this level around 47,000, so be it. And if obviously it breaks down from there, then we probably would be looking at a full-on retrace back to the breakout level. We're talking areas of around $40,000 flat, but that is all speculation at the moment. We have to watch and wait and see how this all plays out over the next few days, really 2 or 3 days, to see how these behave. Given the fact that this bounce hasn't been in any way significant, it's not got a great deal of conviction in it, I think it probably will break down, unfortunately. I think it probably will break down. So let's turn our attention to Ethereum. So Ethereum is essentially holding up the altcoin market, and if Ethereum decides to go down, then Bitcoin dominance will go down, and altcoins generally will go down, most of them anyway. As you can already see that Bitcoin has taken a lot of the alts down already. So we're looking at Ethereum here on the 4-hourly, and it looks terrible. It looks like it's desperate to have some more downside to it. So let's have a look historically on this 4-hourly to see if there's any patterns that we can take from it. So it has been pretty choppy in the past, hasn't it? It's been in an uptrend for a long period of time, and it's been slow and steady. 200 exponential bounce, massive dump, 200 exponential bounce. 200 exponential bounce, 200 exponential, and then turbo rally. Massive dump here, almost tagging that 200 exponential. So what I'm saying is, when we break down out of this formation, this bullish formation, we still have an area of support here, don't we? This is our 200 exponential. The way that this token Ethereum has behaved in the past, it would suggest that if we do break down as we are doing right now, that the end result would be around the 200 exponential, and obviously if that breaks down, it would be pretty tragic. I mean, we'd be looking, I'd probably say, for a full-on retrace all the way back down to below 1,000. Talking about 800, 900 maybe. But again, that's all speculation. Just because something significant's happened doesn't mean that it's going to continue. It is always the emotional response that we get when we see these things. So from the top to where we are right now, 12.5%. It's not a good look, but these things happen. Look, from the top here down to here, that was a 32% retracement in a lot shorter space of time. And what was this one? That was a 27% retracement in a lot shorter space of time. And this one, 15%, so kind of similar. So the dips seem to be getting smaller each time, even though they feel severe. But we've been in a bull market for almost a full year now. I'm not saying that we're going to go into a bear market. As far as the crypto market cycle is concerned, we shouldn't be going into a bear market, an extended one, until the end of this year at least. So I'm not in any way trying to undermine the fact that this could be a break of formation for both Bitcoin and Ethereum, but I'm also reserving my I suppose knee-jerk reaction, which is to think that this is the end and we can't come back from this. Look, at the end of the day, this is why we try and take profits on the way up and leave the rest to ride, and always try and keep some tether. Even though I do have tether on standby, this isn't the dip that I would be buying if to be buying at all. This isn't at the moment. This isn't a significant dip. Even some of the altcoins that I'm holding, they've only dipped 12 to 15% at best, right? So that's no big deal considering that they've been up for such a long period of time. All that's done is taken a hit to the portfolio. It's not actually I'm technically not losing any money. I've got in good positions. Some of these tokens like FET, for instance, I'm up almost 5x. So there's no reason for me to assume that that this is going to be a tragic bear market or anything like that. But I do have tether on standby to buy if these dips get more and more severe, and then maybe we can talk about shorting the market. At the moment, I do think that there is further downside to be had, but it doesn't undermine the overall picture of bull market. So actually, looking at Ethereum here, we are touching, just kissing the center of the Bollinger Band actually. So if this does break down, then further pullback at least to or maybe even to 1600, maybe even a bit further, 1500 or so, could be on the cards. But again, I'm trying not to have any knee-jerk reactions to this. Everyone, at least I know on my Telegram, for instance, have been in profit for such a prolonged period of time. Things can't just go up forever. Although I do believe that there is plenty more upside to be had in this market. If we do have a 10, 20, 30, maybe 40% correction from where we are at right now, it's still no real big deal. That's cryptocurrency for you. Anyway, at the end of the day, the structures are still in play for both Bitcoin and Ethereum. The structures are both perfectly sound, Bitcoin especially. And if we look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, it's still relatively bearish, although it does look as though we're trying to curl out of this bearish trend and form maybe an uptrend. We do have a death cross here. We do seem to be closing above this trend line. So this trend line used to be a rejection trend line, doesn't appear to be relevant anymore. So we'll get rid of that. So the next area I would be looking to I suppose hedge back into altcoins the most would be at these exponential moving averages around about 63 to 64. So 63 and a quarter. Sorry, 3/4 and 64. Again, I'm not massively bearish on any of this, but in the short term, it could quite easily take a hit, a bit more than it already has. So Bitcoin possibly tagging the 52, and if that breaks down, then I would imagine all the way down to that center of that Bollinger Band, and then probably get a decent bounce from it. And then depending on how significant that bounce is, we can talk about whether it's going to make a new all-time high. We'll have a look at see how Ethereum has coped throughout that entire thing. Ethereum's Chiku span has been in place since all the way back from down here. So now we are getting closer to the price action. This could suggest that obviously it's not happened yet. We only trade the signals when they happen. But if this does touch the price action, then it would be the end of this trend. Probably go into a consolidation period for Ethereum. As in like a deeper consolidation phase for Ethereum before a new uptrend can begin, which I couldn't tell you when that would be. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Join the Telegram, it's free, and have a nice day. Take it easy.